so it's harder to change. The path that I'm walking is paved by my pain. The path has the pavement and I walk in the rain. It's been hailing for days and I'm begging for change. My brain has been dazed by the drugs that I crave. I'm stuck in amazement, I'm counting my days and I wish I could change, but I can't. I must say that I'm 6 from the grave. Dead that's so close I can taste of this grave. My breath got me blocked to the side of my ways. My price is my life.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 20 of HorrorCorridor, and we are here with Babble the Demon. What's up? How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm kind of new to your music. I don't remember if you friended me or if I friended you. One of us friended each other. But pretty recently, the Demon EP came out, and I was just like, I'm going to give this a shot. Turned it on, and my mind was blown. I listened to it like 10 times straight. So it's pretty short, so it's easy to listen to a lot. But yeah, so I've been hooked ever since, and I had to have you as a guest. And thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you want to introduce yourself a little bit first?
Yeah. So my name is Babble the Demon. I do everything from trap metal, horrorcore, rap, and R&B. I am on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. That's me. Check me out.
Oh, yeah. And what led you into music in general, first off?
It really was like a way for me to express like how I felt. I like held in a lot of stuff, so it was like an outlet for me to express that. So like my lyrics are like pretty dark, and like I've never heard like before, like when I started doing music, I never heard of like wicked shit or horrorcore or anything like that until like other artists reached out to me and they were like, hey, your music is dope. And I noticed that they were like touching on similar subjects. And I figured, I was like, yeah, like my music kind of has like that horrorcore aesthetic. But so I created DieSoul, which is basically a combination of like trap metal, horrorcore, rap, and R&B. And that's just like that was just like an overall like way to define my own sound.
That's great. I love that you just came up with your own thing too. There's a lot of labels just getting thrown around, but I feel like DieSoul is very original. It sticks out. So what kind of made you come up with like the wording for that?
So I was like affiliated with Die Slow out of Austin, Texas, which is a rap group, a collective of people who rap.
Mm-hmm.
And but at a point when I was starting to like release my music, I didn't get like the feedback that I wanted it within the group because it was very dark and out of the ordinary. So I kind of like one day I was just like DieSoul,
Mm-hmm.
instead of Die Slow.
Word. That's cool. So it was a while before you started connecting with like the scene, I guess you would say, of horrorcore and wicked shit and stuff. How long were you doing the DieSoul stuff until you started like playing shows and like putting stuff out and doing collabs and all that?
I would say about like 6 months, and then like DJ Fire reached out to me, and I was signed with his label for a little bit, and he connected me with like a lot of other horrorcore rappers as well. But like I've done other collabs with other artists who are not horrorcore.
Yeah.
So I did that a little bit before. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you have a pretty wide range. Like, it's kind of crazy because like your stuff is all like your lyrics are pretty. You can tell when it's Babble the Demon, but when you're doing a collab with whoever, it's like you get all these different lyrical styles coming out. Some of it's horrorcore, some of it's more street style. Like it's interesting. The diverse amount of people you've worked with. Do you want to mention some of the collaborations you've done? Because it's pretty impressive considering how new are you, would you say? Like, when would you say you established, first off?
About 2 years now.
Okay. So that is pretty fresh. And, like, you're making a fucking splash, too. Like, I can, just in the time that I've, like, friended you, I've seen, like, the amount of growth and the amount of reach and the amount of people that are starting to hear about you. And I think it's like really catching on fire. So, who are some of these people that you've worked with so far?
I worked with Certified and ATX Cypher. They're both here in Austin. They usually do like street style rap. Let me think. Oh, I did a collab with Is Too Nice, and he is more of like a complex lyrical rapper. He's associated with like D12 out of Detroit, so
Oh,
it's
cool.
like very complex. Yeah. Um, I think I can't think of any more
I was
right
going to
now.
mention past guest of the show, Nevik from The
Yeah.
Unforgiven.
Mm-hmm.
That song is fucking badass. The End, is that what it's called? I think.
Yeah.
And that song is just fucking, you're going nuts on there. Like that vocal style you do on there. What are your different vocal styles? Because you have your R&B, which you kind of mentioned, the DieSoul, like slower style, but like you also got like the screaming kind of like grindcore style
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing in that song.
Yeah. I was in a heavy metal band whenever I was in high school called Run to the Sky. We had two vocalists. I was like, I did like the regular like singing, which kind of sounded like opera at the time.
Hmm.
And I also learned how to like scream. So I can do everything from like a low gore to like a high pitched fry scream.
Oh, that's dope. So were you into metal growing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
My dad was like really into like hair metal and Metallica, Black Sabbath. So I grew up listening to that. And
Hmm.
but like his sister, my aunt, she listened to Erica Badu and Lauryn Hill, and she
Hmm.
was more of like the rap, influence in my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up with both actually.
That's awesome. I love hearing those stories of when somebody grows up with two different genres basically coming into different in both ears, and like it just melds together and you end up getting a really cool fusion, because your music I think is very influenced by metal, especially with some of the guitar work you do, even industrial metal at times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
I love industrial.
what are some metal artists and industrial
Sorry.
artists? What are some metal and industrial artists that have influenced you?
Meshuggah. God Module would be like an industrial group that I really love. Um, so I grew up listening to, well, like in like the early 2000s, I was in like middle school and in high school, and I listened to like a lot of System of a Down,
Hmm.
Aiden, Hawthorne Heights, My Chemical Romance.
Oh, that's cool.
I still kind of listen to them every now and then.
Yeah,
Korn, Alice in Chains.
those are all bands that like definitely come in and out of rotation for me too. Especially more. I mean, Korn is something I love. My Chemical Romance, I think they've popped in and out of my life before. I can admit that. But I think what was it? What was I gonna say? Were you ever into like death metal or grindcore, any of the more extreme metal?
Yeah, A Beautiful Lotus is a band that I used to listen to, which is just like heavy, drums and just like high pitched screaming. Um, I Set My Friends on Fire. I can't even think right now.
Yeah, I was just wondering
But yeah,
because the way that you're screaming on those tracks, that's like I couldn't figure out where that you were getting that like influence from, because like it's so different from your other style. Like you do a lot of the kind of like the devil shit style flow, kind of like Lord Infamous or DJ Paul style. I would say like a lot of your rap parts are pretty similar to 3 6 Mafia or like kind of the Memphis devil shit style, even lyrically sometimes. But like then every once in a while you come in with some like hard ass like metal shit too. So I just think that's really interesting that you combine that.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Did you
It's something I've always
yeah, go
wanted to
ahead.
do, though. It's something I've always wanted to do. Um, I kind of always had like this sound in my head of what I wanted to achieve as an artist. And I feel like I've achieved it for the most part. But yeah, on my next album, I think that everybody will be able to hear that sound that I'm talking about for sure.
Cool. Well, I think just like what you just said, you do have a sound. Like DieSoul is becoming its own thing, I think, because you're not just like making up a name and like just throwing music out there. Like seems like there's a framework, there's something that you're kind of sticking to, like a formula. Do you kind of want to explain like what's in the cooking pot, I guess, for your style?
Yeah, for sure. So it's basically I was writing lyrics that were to be like meant to be rap, but instead I sang them, which was kind of inspired by Zero out of Houston, Texas. He has done like the similar thing where like he sings his rap instead. Um, and then I basically it's that type of like R&B rap, but dark lyrics on a trap beat, and there's vocal chops. So that's inspired by like a lot of Texas music as well. That's been inspired by DJ Screw, so like chop and screw type stuff. And of course, there's like screamo in there. Yeah.
Well, it's cool because in the Demon EP, you really show your differences. Like it's almost like you picked 5 different styles of vocals and did it on like, because you have a screaming track, you have a singing track, you have a singing mixed with the Memphis flow, and then I feel like there was one other. And the turn down when you call that screwed or whatever, when it's like really low, like when you
It distorted my voice a little bit. Yeah,
that was fucking dope. And like the first time I listened to that, I didn't know who Babble the Demon was. So when I'm listening to the album, I'm like, is this her or is this her? It turns out it was all you. Like all the way through, that was just you the whole time. It was just you have different sounds. That's fucking awesome. I really love MCs that like Bloodshot or I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've had on the show, Crossworm and stuff. They don't even need features or backup vocals because they can do their own because they have different styles. So I think that works really good. What musical influences did you have when you first started? And what do you have now? How have your musical interests changed since you've been doing music?
I was really inspired by XXXTentacion because I saw that he could express himself in a way that, well, like, you know, dark lyrics, of course. And I saw that he like changed the music in a way that I had never heard before. So I'm like listening to his music, I'm like he did that, you know, like I can do that. You know, I can talk about my dark shit. I can make my own genre, you know, and so like XXXTentacion, I was in the beginning I was like introduced to like a lot of juggalos and the juggalo scene. So Ouija Mac, let's see.
Ever a big ICP fan?
To be honest with you, the first time I ever listened to an ICP song was about 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think about them? In all honesty.
I think they're dope. You know, it's not really something that I would listen to on a daily basis, but like every now and then I'll listen to like a few tracks from the Hell's Pit album. I really like that album. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a good one. That's cool. Is there any other Juggalo artists that like kind of stick out for you though? Because some of them are very talented. They just get swept under the rug because of their Juggalo name. Nah. Not that you can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of any right now.
Seems like it's kind of just like a different world for you. Sort of, you're kind of doing your own thing, which is cool. How about Texas rappers? Is there any Texas rappers that, like, because I know about, because of the underground, I know about, let's see, Class is one of them. I can't really think of too many, though. Like, there's the Ghetto Boys and shit, but, like, who are some Texas rappers that are popping off right now?
Here in Austin, we have a rapper who's like he's a genius. He actually just came out with an album called Genius. But Nez the Villain, he's great. And then the Tool Man out of Austin, Texas. Let's see. So J Dog out of Houston, Texas. Um, Let me think. Yeah, I can't think of any more right now.
That's good enough. I haven't even heard them yet, so that's good enough list. Is there any horrorcore artists around there that you know of?
Uh, so like Kaido, I think I'm probably not saying that right. Kaido or Kaido. He does like trap metal, like dark stuff.
Nice.
But really, there's not a whole lot of like horrorcore here in Austin. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. But I did see that you're going to be playing Night of the Shrunken Heads. Did you just get on that show? You want to talk about that? How you got hooked up on that show?
So Razakel messaged me on Facebook, and she asked me if I was interested in performing because she thought that like my sound would be fitting for the show since there's going to be a lot of horrorcore artists there. And like I've heard of Razakel before. You know, she's like the queen of horrorcore. So
Yeah.
I was like really stoked. I'm really excited to be performing with her.
Anytime I bring you up, she likes my posts like instantly. I think she's a big fan of Babble the Demon. So yeah, Razakel's great. That's great. I hopefully someone takes some video of that show because I'd love to see your live performance. So hopefully you can get a filmer, so people can see what you can bring. How many live shows have you played so far in your 2 years of your career?
I've only done 2 so far. I played at Fresh Fridays last year. I kind of embarrassed myself because I drank a little bit too much. But I did a show downtown on 6th Street here in Austin. It was the Equal Hostage Exchange, hosted by Clado, the World Destroyer. Oh, he does like horrorcore stuff too.
Yeah, I know Clado. Yeah, we're friends on Facebook. We've talked a few times. Yeah. And you did a song with him. It was like a 4-person collab. That song, you did the hook on that song. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Isn't it called like Bleed or something? Blood? I can't remember. Slice. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, your hook is fucking good. I mean, that's some really catchy professional like horrorcore hook right there. So, are you offering your vocals for commission? Like if people want you on a track to do a hook, is that like some people can reach out to you and do that? Yeah.
Not too many people have paid me. Most of the time, like if I really like the beat or if I'm like, you know, I like genuinely want to collab with that person, I'll just do it for free. And of course at the end, you know, we all do like split pay with the distribution services anyways, so you know.
I mean, I don't even know how the industry really works nowadays because it's all gone to streaming. So I guess that does sound like a fair way to do it. Where did you learn singing? Like, was it choir or something like that? Or were you self-taught?
Yeah, I mean, like naturally, I feel like I knew how to sing already. I sang a lot as a kid. I just enjoyed singing. And then whenever I was in middle school and high school, I was in choir. I was a soprano 1. I was in that category, so I could reach like really high pitches for a really long amount of time. I did what's it called? I did we did like Italian songs and French. It was like a legit thing. I was Mary Sargo Shapiro. I would stay after school with her. She was my choir teacher, and she ended up kind of just being like my vocal coach because we had so much time with one another, and I would just like work on songs after school. But then like in 2018, I ripped my vocal cords, like because I was arguing with my boyfriend at the time, and I was like screaming like a crazy person, I guess.
Damn.
And I tore my vocal cords, and I actually lost my voice for like 3.5 months.
Holy shit.
So yeah, that changed my voice a lot, and it really broke me in a way. But I've also had to learn how to sing, but with a slight rasp.
Do you think that could be a blessing and a curse at all?
I really think that it's contributed to my sound for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, because you do have an original sound, and I think like imperfections, if you want to even call it that, I think sometimes can really boost somebody's studio sound a lot. Like, can add a lot of guttural or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's a good thing
Yeah.
that happened in a way. I'm sorry that the cause of it
Yeah.
sounds kind of brutal, but um, also, do you record your own vocals?
I do for the most part, but I have been to like different studios here in Austin. I Certified has recorded me at his own studio, and I've gone to the launch pad here in Austin a few times as well.
Okay. Because I do notice that like a lot of your tracks, you kind of have this. I don't know if you do it in post production or whatever, but it's like almost like the gain is turned up a little bit, almost like how RZA does it or something. Like, so it's kind of has like a little bit of a fuzzy, like you're hearing it through an amplifier, sort of. Is that a sound that you intentionally go
Yeah,
for?
it is. Um, so I put a lot of distortion and effects on my voice. There's like a particular sound that I'm trying to achieve. So like songs like Black and Blue, DieSoul, um, Arson and I, they all have like that fuzzy psychedelic
Uh
type
huh.
of vibe sound to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a professional when it comes to like mixing and stuff,
Yeah.
but with the help of Bank Hard Beats Bad Mind
Word.
on my next album, you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about as far as that sound goes.
Oh hell yeah! Super excited about that. Why don't we just, since we mentioned it, why don't we just get into it a little bit? What is up with this new album?
So I'm not sure if it's going to be an EP or an LP. I'm hoping it will be an LP. I have a couple features on there already. One with Six Sada. She's another horrorcore female rapper, and
What's
Dot Gruesome.
what's her name?
Six Sadist.
Oh,
Six
cool.
Six Sadist.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, or Miss Sadist. Yeah. So and then I have another one, Dog Gruesome, and then I have another one with Nivik and Itsu.
Awesome. So how did you hook up with working with Nivik eventually? Because I mean, that dude's awesome. He's such a nice guy. Did you guys just meet online, or have you guys like met at a show or anything, or what?
No, we met on Facebook, but we've talked previously about like the next tour that he's going to be having, that they're going to be passing here through Austin to perform, and I'm probably going to be there as well
Oh hell
performing.
yeah! Hopefully you guys can do a couple tracks together, like live performing together. That'd be awesome. Um, did you hear the new song they put out today? The Unforgiven song, Hive Mentality. It was pretty good. I would go around check that out if you get time.
Actually heard it before it was released. Yeah.
So did I. Kevin
Yeah,
Kevin
they're
couldn't hold
pretty
it
good.
in. Yeah, it's fucking cool. It's cool. It's like got a grunge kind of like grunge style to it. Like it's like corn mixed with grunge.
Yeah, yeah.
You can really tell they're from Seattle on
Hmm.
that song. Um, what are the
Yeah.
vocal topics you like to cover?
So like my song Sick, so it's kind of like a snuff murder thing. uh so like Fill Your Soul with the Lead is like on some gang shit. Uh I Heart is about like suicide and depression. Black and Blue is about abuse. Die Soul actually has a little history behind it. It's about like all the women and children who were murdered in the name of God during the Salem witch trials. There's like a slight witch burning in between the middle of the song.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah. And then so I have some storytelling songs like Babble and Mercy. Those are songs like about my life.
What about Dope? I was wondering if you could go into the lyrics on that one.
So that song is actually a true story. So my father, my son's father, his mother died from suicide, and that's actually how pretty much like the whole story, you know, came about. If you really listen to the song, I'm not too proud of that song. I feel like it was really rushed.
Mm.
But yeah, that song's about my son's father and his mother and the
I think
effects of drugs.
extremely
Yeah.
powerful song though. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I think the lyrics like they go pretty dark, especially when you come in on that second verse and it just gets even darker, and you're like, oh fuck, damn. So
Yeah.
that's cool shit. What is that album, by the way? The one that has you in the hospital gown with the glowing eyes and the fire and stuff. Like, I know that those are kind of loose tracks, but what was that?
So those were just like individual songs that well, singles that I released, and at the time I didn't have um an album cover, so
Mm,
that's the picture that I put as the album cover. But I did have another album before the Demon EP, and it was called the DieSoul EP, and it consisted of 14 songs, and it was basically the entire thing was DieSoul.
hmm.
It was released through Infamous Six, but because of like the unprofessionalism with the label or the head of the label, I had the album taken down, and then I later like released each song individually, plus
Okay.
more that I made.
So most
Yeah.
likely I've heard all those.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. I didn't want there to be something that I had to like scrape up, so that's good. And good thing you didn't get like I don't know. Good thing that it didn't get like sometimes stuff gets buried forever, or people never get to see the masters. So good thing nothing like that happened. Uh,
Yeah.
so you do produce your own beats. Like what percentage of your music is your own production?
I think there's only about 3 or 4 songs where I've made the beat myself, but most of my beats are actually Boz beats. He's from Austin. And some beats were given to me by different producers. And I can't name the producers right now. There's like a few of them. But my next album will be mixed and mastered by Bankard Beat, Bad Mind.
Okay. And then all of the beats, are those going to be Bad Mind, or are you going to get some different beat makers in there?
It's all going to be Bad Mind.
Oh, awesome. So that's going to be cool, like a nice little theme in there. Have you heard all the stuff yet that like, has he given it all over to you yet? The beats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
So you know what
But
your sound
like
is going to be like and stuff?
he mixed and mastered my song Heart. So
Mhm.
that song I had him make custom for me, and the next for all the songs in my next album, they're all going to be custom.
Oh, cool. That's fucking great. Um, did you ever play guitar on any of those tracks? I was wondering because I saw a picture of you playing a guitar or holding a guitar, and then there's guitar on some tracks. So I was wondering if that was you on any of them.
No, that was actually a looper
Mm.
that I had like chopped up and put in different places throughout the beat. That's really how I make my beats, anyways. I basically just got different loopers from like an industrial genre pack and then like a trap pack, and I just kind of like combined those. It turned out pretty well.
Sounds pretty. It's crazy how far along artificial guitars have come. Because like back in the day, it sounded like a Super Nintendo, and now it's like I don't know. You can fool anyone now, except for maybe like a professional. Yeah, sounds like you're playing like Beavis and Butthead on
Yeah.
Sega or something. Um, so do you ever go for psychedelic or trippy vibes? You have some tracks that are just like, so Arson I Am, for example, that song is like really puts you in a strange mindset. Are you going for that from the beginning? Like I'm gonna like kind of take people into a weird state of mind, or are you just kind of just going off the cuff?
Yeah, it was intentional for sure. That song is actually about like the freedom from religion and the effects that it has on people's lives and society.
Hell yeah, I love that topic. I mean, a lot of the underground goes into that kind of stuff because it's just don't like being pushed around. I think that's a big part of the genre is like not taking any shit, not being told what to do, and I think that is a big part of your attitude too. So like when it comes to like the witch trials or like colonization or anything like that, you can just like point back to that like authority and religion and stuff like that as being just pretty much the enemy of like the underground.
Yeah.
Same with Unforgiven. Definitely has like a lot of tracks like that. It's just like there's no trust when it comes to like authority or religion. Did you grow up religious at all?
My mother's side of the family were like Southern Christian Baptist, which was a little extreme. And my dad's side of the family, they're Native American, so they had their religion stripped from them a long time ago. They're really nothing, or some of them are Catholic. But yeah.
Yeah.
I never liked it. I always saw like past all of that bullshit. It's just for the means of control and brainwashing for the means of control.
Yeah, me too. And I've never been able to muster up faith either. Like I can't force myself to have faith. So like I wonder where faith comes from. But I think that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Are there any artists or producers that you don't think are getting enough shine right now?
So like Bonds Beats.
That's good shit. I've never heard of him really. So, and that's spelled like with 8. How is it spelled? It's spelled different, right? Am I wrong?
It's B-O-Z.
B-O-Z?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought I saw some producer that had like 8 in their name or something, so maybe I'm just tripping.
Oh no, that's me. That's Babs, but 8A8Z, so it looks like
That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I was trying to get to this whole time. Okay, so that's your producer name, Babs, with an 8.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so that answers a question for me. Awesome. Good to know. So if people are looking at the production side of you, it's Babs, and then Babble the Demon for vocals. I went on your SoundCloud, and there were a couple instrumental tracks on there, though. So I got to check that out. Those are pretty cool. Do you update your SoundCloud along with the other platforms? Like, is that something... Okay, it's a little bit older.
Yeah, I haven't updated it in quite a while. I think a little bit before July. Might have been the last time I updated it, but I need to do that.
Let's talk about the music video for Sick. You want to talk about the filming of that? There's a couple things going on there.
So I filmed it myself. That's my boyfriend in the video. I wrapped him up in saran wrap and I murdered him and ate his heart for dinner for breaking my heart.
That's awesome. How did he feel about having saran wrap on his face and being held back with a knife and you just completely dominating him?
He'll do anything for me. So he was just like, okay, I'll just sit here, like just wrap my face with saran wrap. I guess I'll do anything for you. I love you.
Aw, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Are you guys still together?
Yeah, we've been together for like 5-6 years now.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. And maybe you'll be taking him all the way to the bank. You never know. So it might be worth some of the abuse. You think you'll ever have him on a track? Does he ever do music or anything?
Yeah, he does his own music. We tried to do a song before, but he kind of got discouraged because our sounds are just totally different, you know. But he has some good lyrics. We just sound different, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Totally. So you edited that. Are you going to do any more videos, do you think? Because you only have one actual video. You have a couple AMVs up, which are pretty cool. Did you do the AMVs yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, cool. So you used like clips from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poughkeepsie tapes I saw. I'm trying to remember some of the other stuff that you used for those.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Definitely some creepy
Be Mine has
creepy bondage shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to remember what else there was, but yeah, The AMVs are cool. They work definitely, and like there was some anime too, which I wasn't familiar with, but worked. Do you think you'll be filming any more music videos?
Here in the near future, so James Squatchworth is a great videographer. Uh, he has offered to record a music video for me. I have a collab with him that's going to be released here in the near future called Dark Clouds.
Oh, nice. Is that James
yeah.
Joyce Squatch from
Yeah.
Nightbreed? Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I've listened to him a few times. He's good. I like him. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's going to be a cool collab. So you got that music video. Any other plans for videos?
I have a lot of ideas for videos, but right now I'm not really like making any active moves towards making a video right now. No, not right now.
And I heard in an interview that you have thought about getting into acting. You still thinking about doing that?
I would love to act, but I haven't made any actual like pursuits to act yet.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Kind of busy, yeah.
So when it comes to film and stuff, what are some of your influences? Film, TV.
Like my favorite actor would be Vincent D'Onofrio. He played in like Men in Black. He was that roach man. He played the bad guy in The Cell. I named my son after him.
He's in everything.
I really love Vincent D'Onofrio.
Especially the 90s. Especially the 90s. That's cool. What about like movies? What are some movies that like influenced you growing up, like horror or not?
I'm sorry, you're breaking out.
I'm sorry.
Breaking in.
What are some movies that influenced you growing up?
So I guess like those movies. Let me think. I really like Nicole Kidman movies. I think that she does an excellent job, like captivating like the emotion and like the direction vibe for like a scene and her part, of course, in the scene.
Yeah, she does
so like
serious movies really well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like that movie Fur that she did with Robert Downey Jr. I really love that movie. And she was also kind of like attracted to things that were very strange and out of the ordinary or unique. And that's something that I love. Mm-hmm. I just like weird movies like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Do you watch horror at all? Is that something that you're drawn to, like visually? Or is it something that maybe is just kind of in the background?
So I watch horror movies every now and then. When I was like in middle school and high school, I would stay up all night by myself and eat sour Skittles and watch like the Saw movies. Mm-hmm. I really love movies. Yeah, anything that's like that could be like really possible in real life that could really scare the shit out of me. I like those. So like Hostel, there's a big possibility that type of stuff could happen. I'm not really into like ghost movies or demon movies or anything like that, but
I'm the same way. Like I'm always like, I love monsters and stuff, but I always go with the torture, the killers, the gore and all that. Like, cause anything that like reflects like our fucked up world, I think is a lot more entertaining personally. I'm surprised with your lyrics too, because your lyrics are so, I mean, you have some gore lyrics. I was wondering like where the gore lyrics come from.
So I experienced like a lot of anger in my life and like a lot of dark thoughts towards people who probably deserved it. And I just have a really creative way of expressing that, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I think there's like, a lot of people get road rage and they're like, I want to fucking kill that person or run them off the road, And then, like, if you imagine, like, put some of that anger in a song, you could have a cool fucking punk rock mosh song, Like, people just need to, like, focus it, I guess. So you're just basically taking
Yeah.
anger from your real life and just turning it into DieSoul music. That's cool. What are some horrorcore
Yep.
artists that maybe you would? So, like, are there horrorcore artists? You say that like it wasn't always a big thing in your life, but what are some horrorcore artists that kind of always been around for you? Like something that's you always go back to.
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What are some horrorcore artists that you always go back to, or horrorcore records that you'll always go back to? Stuff that's has good replay value for you.
So like the old school, like Lord Infamous, 3 6 Mafia. That's always a go-to. As far as like new stuff, Doc Gruesome, Salem Alumni,
Yeah.
me,
You.
Unforgiven. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool new stuff popping up. What are some non-horrorcore artists that you're digging?
Kendrick Lamar, Erica Badu, Korn, Alice in Chains.
Nice.
I still kind of listen to like old stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. My mind's kind of stuck in the old too. Like I was listening to Fugees yesterday, and then like I think I was listening to like what was I listening? I was listening to some like '80s metal too, and I'm just like, man, I need to need to get out of the '80s and '90s. But,
Yeah, I feel a little bit about musically, like as far as like knowing like up to date artists and stuff like that for sure.
That's the cool thing about the show, though, is it's like keeping me up to date a lot on a lot of music. Like I would probably wouldn't have like gone down a lot of the rabbit holes that I've gone down and found out about you or the Unforgiven and stuff if I wasn't like currently seeking it out for the show or going to shows. So
Yep.
it's cool. I think there's a really good scene out there right now. A lot of cool music out there. Do you have any other hobbies?
Yeah. I draw with like pencil and paper, but
Oh, nice.
I do like little like I guess it would be considered like surreal art. I'll do like a hyper realistic apple with an eye on it that looks realistic and some spider legs coming out, and I'll make it punny and I'll call it like the apple of my eye,
Oh, nice.
or yeah, just like weird but silly stuff, I guess.
Have you ever used any of that for your music?
No,
No.
honest with you, I haven't drawn in a really long time. I kind of have like a little bit of like nerve damage because last year I broke both of my wrists skating. I like fell back on both of my hands and my both of my wrists snapped. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like weird about drawing now.
Oh, that sucks. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
someday that'll kind of go away or something. I don't know. What were you skating? Skateboard, longboard?
I was drunk roller skating.
Oh shit. That sounds
Yeah.
like a very bad combo. I used to drunk skateboard all the
Yeah.
time, and I'd wake up with like sticky wounds all over my bed, and like it was terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully you learned a lesson. Don't get on the skates.
Yeah, I've been sober from alcohol for I think about like 6 months now.
Oh, congrats. Congrats.
Thanks.
You're not the first person on the show that's like on that path right now. I think a lot of artists are starting to realize, maybe it was COVID and the quarantine and stuff like that, but like a lot of artists I think hit a block or something and they're just taking this new path off of alcohol. I mean, a lot of people still smoking, but yeah, me too as well. I'm like 3 years sober, off a little more than 3 years sober too. And how is it working out for you? Congrats, by the way.
I don't even think about alcohol anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't even think about alcohol anymore. I've conquered 3 different drug addictions and I don't think about it anymore. I just, anytime it's ever, the subject's ever brought up, I'm just like, well, I don't ever want to do that shit again.
Yeah.
You know, it just never brought anything good my life.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm happy.
it's if you're anything like me, you kind of just look at it and you just see all the negative things that it comes along with it, and then you can kind of just contrast that with how good you're doing now and be like, oh fuck it, I don't need that shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Well, congrats, and I think that probably, I mean, look at your growth in the last 6 months too, and like maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something coinciding that like maybe that was the final step you needed to take to like finally shoot off into what's happening now. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
So we already got into what you have coming up. What's the name of the new record? Do you have a name for it yet?
No.
No? How about a date?
I usually come up with that like 2 weeks before I even try to release it.
All right.
Yeah.
How about a date? Do you have a time?
Probably by summer of next year.
Okay. Cool. And then before that, do you think you'll have like some releases to kind of tide your fans over, or
All
right, cool.
Yeah. So I have like collabs with other artists, like it's gonna be on their albums. But
cool.
yeah, I have a collab with like James, Joyce Squatchworth, and then I have a DieSoul collab with Michigan Misfits. So they kind of
cool.
they're singing DieSoul too.
That's awesome. They're also a past guest of the show. Those guys are very talented doing their own thing, so that'll be a really interesting mix-up. Awesome. Well, what's the best way for people to find your music, and do you have anything else to plug?
So just like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. If there's any issues, just Google me.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing to plug right now.
Nothing to plug. Well, it sounds like you have a lot on the horizon, and all the listeners, just check out our pages, check out our music. There's nothing out right now. So, and it's fucking brutal. It's some brutal ass, hardcore, real life, scary ass. It's like horrorcore rooted in real life. So, definitely check it out. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just keep plugging your stuff, and can't wait to see what comes out soon.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for having me.
She said fuck the lights, fuck the rent. I just need my fucking fix. Sling some shit, turn a trick. Fuck, my God, fuck this kid. How could he have let it turn to this? Maybe I'm a fool, maybe I'm just sick. And then her son came into the room and found her dead. He wrote up a blunt and then he said, I will never be like you and leave them alone like you did. I'ma be the best that I can. I'ma be the man that you made me. After seeing this, there's nothing that can faze me. You raised me. I've been going crazy, mama. I came from the bottom. I'll just swallow my pain at the bottom of a bottle. You need lean, weed, Zans? Yeah, I got 'em. I'll do just about anything to make sure my baby's got it. I'll never give up and I'll never stop until I drop dead. And then he ashed the blunt on her head. Instead of loving me, you'd rather be dead? What the fuck do you mean? I remember the words that you said, and I'll always remember what the fuck you just did. I remember the words that you said. I'm the dope dripping apple of a needle. I'm an insect, I'm a fly, I'm a beetle. I just wanna dig inside. I just wanna fuck your mind up. I'm a demon deep inside. I'm flowing through your veins just like a dime.